Welcome back, everybody. There's a very important lesson growing over at the International School of Indiana. Students are learning to work with others to maintain their school garden and greenhouse. Elizabeth Head and Jeremiah White are with me now to talk about, of course, some of the plants that you've got and then what you're doing for these kids. So I want to start over here with how this project started in the first place, because you're only 1 or 2 years into it.
Yeah, so it really started with a greenhouse project that was initiated by the students, and it kind of grew into a garden. And so now the students are having the opportunity to plant seeds in the classroom, and then they nurture the seedlings, and then once those seedlings get to a certain size, then we're able to allow them to transplant those into the garden themselves, so they get the full experience.
And you're kind of a volunteer parent filling in that
yes,
role
that's right,
with a big green thumb, I'm sure.
Exactly.
I'm sure it's great to get to see the students do so well, but it's not just about the students. Liz, tell me more.
Yeah, what we're really excited about is our students, because they speak different languages, because they're learning about other cultures. We have 53 nationalities at the International School of Indiana.
Wow.
And because of that, we have connected with the Immigrant Welcome Center here in Indianapolis. They have refugees come and help tend the garden, take the produce also for their own families, as well as give back to the community with that produce. And so our students integrate with the refugees, learn about cultures, learn about countries, continue to learn different languages, and give back to others in the process.
Well, that makes a lot of sense because the students can't care for it year-round. Obviously, they're off for the summer, you know, and different things like that. So you're able to kind of tag team, especially in that big summer growth period.
That's right.
And so tell me where the idea came from then to donate that out, because there's a lot of things you could do with this produce, but to donate it out to the Immigrant Center as well as some other places. Where did that all come from?
Right.
Yeah, well, we're able to produce hundreds of excess pounds of produce, so we certainly don't want it to go to waste. One of the important things is making sure that that gets out to the community, and so I went into food pantries and soup kitchens, people who really needed that produce, but obviously immigrants, their friends and families as well. So everybody got a little bit of the garden, so it was good. Yeah.
You're setting a great example for schools by doing this, as well as your message of internationality. What do you hope people can take away from your idea and the successful implementation of it?
Right. Well, what we believe is that students need to grow with these skills to give back to the world, to give back to Indianapolis, the city, the state, and then also with the world in their languages, their internationalism, their global mindedness, the different cultures that they're used to working with at all times. So we see this as not only a service to our students, but as a service to the world because of what our students will do in helping others around the world with the skills that they attain.
Because they're learning not just, I guess, horticulture here and planting, and of course you get to oversee some of that, but they're learning some of these life lessons. And I want to hear then what you get to see from these students. What are their reactions as they get to see little saplings actually grow and then turn into produce?
Yeah, I mean, they love it. They absolutely love it. So when they come back in the fall, then to go back to school, we've got really tall sunflowers. They get to see the produce in the garden. They get a chance to pick some of the things. So they're always excited to get in the garden, and they've really enjoyed it so far. So we're looking forward to continuing it.
And then I'm sure the reaction from the community, the refugee community, is similar.
Right. Well, to see the refugee community, to see our students, to see our families, and then to see people in Indianapolis all impacted from a project of caring people, caring for the community, and then students growing to give back in the future. That's the power of this type of project and what parents like in our international school community do.
We're so glad you're sharing this success story, and hopefully folks can emulate it at home or find different ways to appreciate it and be a part of your garden and make their own and be a part of that too.
Right.
Thank you again for coming in. We appreciate you, and we're so glad that you're doing so well with this. Hopefully the weather keeps good on you. We've had a really rainy spring, which
It's been good for gardening.
which
Yes,
I'm sure has helped. Not the best for racing, but we're going to have our fingers crossed for that, right, Mark?